have it. Welcome back. We have Michelle Byler here from the Area Agency on Aging of Northwest Arkansas. Welcome. You took a trip over here to Mountain Home?
I sure did. I'm normally over in Harrison, but this is one of the counties that I cover, and so the
events flyers, huh? For an event that's coming up? Or
that's right. Yeah. That's right. We've got 2 different events coming up that we are doing with Morac Family Center on Aging. And the first one is on April the 10th. We're doing a legal workshop for grandparents who are raising grandchildren. And, this is a very real need in Arkansas especially. I mean, it's a big need in our country. In Arkansas, there are 65,000 children who are in homes that are headed by grandparents.
Statistically shown, is there more grandparents these days raising their grandchildren?
Yes. Okay. Yes, there is. And this workshop is designed specifically for those people and for any other kinship guardian. There's aunts and uncles who are raising children, or maybe cousins who are raising children, and you always have a lot of questions as far as, do I need to seek out adoption? Do I need to get guardianship? Do I just need papers giving me consent if it's a short-term thing? And that's what this workshop is for. Judith Strother from the Strother firm is going to be coming and presenting, and there will be an opportunity for people to ask questions and find out more information to see, is this something that I'm going to need to actually seek legal counsel for, or is this something that maybe I can do with just a simple consent form if you're looking at needing to apply for our kids, or are you needing to actually be able to see if you need to get child support for that child? What's the situation? She can also, if you've got questions about visitation, if you have rights to have visitation for a grandchild, she can answer that as well.
Okay. So this covers, I'm thinking that a grandchild is staying in the home of a grandparent. Is this out of necessity, or is it a choice, or is it because the parents are working, or is there something going on in the home of the original mother and father, or all of the above?
I would say all of the above. There are times whenever it may be a short-term situation. Perhaps a parent is in the service and is being stationed overseas, and so it's just a short-term arrangement, or it may be a longer-term arrangement. Sometimes both the parents and the grandparents are in the home together, but maybe the grandparent has become the one that's more of the caregiver and is needing to do things like enroll the child in school. And what does the grandparent need to have in place in order to be able to enroll that child in school?
Okay. And this event's for those people to understand what they can utilize that information for, I would assume.
Right.
Or help them make better decisions.
Right, to help them see whether or not they're going to need to pursue further legal counsel, as far as, are they going to actually need to be looking towards guardianship? Is this a situation where they can just have consent papers that are notarized and go on from there? Just those type of questions that people have in this situation. And that's on Tuesday, April the 10th at 1 o'clock at the Morac Family Center on Aging. And we do ask that you go ahead and call to make reservations. If you forget, that's okay. 508-3880. And then the next event that we've got coming up, also at Morac, is on April the 19th, Thursday, April the 19th. We're going to be doing 5 Wishes, which is a living will document. We did this in Harrison not too long ago. It's a living will document that encompasses both the emotional, physical, and spiritual needs. It has a place on there to name who you want to be your medical power of attorney and the backups. It has in there where you can say what you want your wishes to be as far as your funeral is concerned. It goes through different stages and just has you check boxes, or you can write in what your own wishes are. It lets you say a lot more than just the little flyer that you might get at the hospital does, because you might say, well, if my doctor said that I had a good chance of recovery, then I want them to do everything that they can. But if he's saying that I don't have as much chance of recovery, then I don't want them to give me anything. Or you may say, I want them to do a feeding tube, but I wouldn't want to be put on a respirator.
Is this the same thing as living will or not?
It is. It's
It
a
is
living.
the same.
It's a living will document. It just happens to have a lot more information in it. You can go to agingwithdignity.org to look at what one of these documents looks like, and then it doesn't have to be notarized. It just has to be witnessed by 2 people, and we will have witnesses there. So if you want to complete it there, then you can. Otherwise, you're welcome to take it home and fill it out later. In some states, they have to be notarized, but not in Arkansas. And it even has a little card at the back that you can fill out and then have that in your wallet, so that
Now, where will this be kept on file at then?
You keep a copy yourself, but then you also can give a copy to your doctor.
Because I know, unfortunately, I do know some people that have had to go through this sort of thing with a loved one who didn't have a living will, and then those who there was one available, and they will tell you that it was worth its weight just to know the wishes,
right?
So that you don't have to make those tough decisions yourself. They're still tough to make, but if you know this is what this person wanted, it just because
you don't have to agonize over it.
There are people, and they have had said I would have given anything if I had set my mother or my father, whoever it was, down and said, no, we're going to talk about these things, and we're going to get this down on paper. And for those people who do that, they've done their children and loved ones a blessing. Really have. That's so important.
That's right, because a lot of times people are afraid to discuss something like that. We know that it's inevitable for everyone at some point in time. We all will pass away, and so it's a lot better to give your loved ones that peace of mind, knowing that they are following your wishes and doing what it is that you would want them to do in that situation. I worked for hospice for many years, and it was always a lot more agonizing for people who had never had any kind of conversation with their loved one, about what they wanted for their final wishes. And sometimes, at the last minute, they would say, no, go ahead and resuscitate, because they didn't know what mom or dad wanted or what their spouse wanted.
It would stop a lot of family arguments, because they would say, well, this document says that's what she wants or he wants to do.
Right.
And
so there's none of that, this person thinks we should, this person thinks we shouldn't, and all that kind of stuff.
And I always tell people, when you're picking the person to be your medical power of attorney, pick someone who you know is going to follow your wishes. Don't pick the child who you think is going to cave and say no, no, we've got to do everything if that's not what you want.
Yeah, pick the person who will, honor what you've asked. Very nice.
Now, this is when now?
Thursday, April the 19th at 1 o'clock at Murak Family Center on Aging. Same phone number, 508-3880, to reserve a spot.
All right. We cover it?
We did.
Okay.
Good.
Thanks, Michelle, for driving
Thank
over.
you.
Appreciate it. Now you can go out and do some more flyers. Hand out some more flyers. Thanks a lot for being here.
Thank you.
All right, up next, Billy Majors is here with Anna Doyle, and they're going to be talking about the Baxter
County Extension.
I love your abbreviations.
I'm sorry, but Billy's always here with the 4-H,
But I'm not thinking, I'm reading.
It's good. Not yet. Billy's on her way up already.
We'll stop here. We'll do some applause. We'll do a couple of ads, and then you come back. Stay with us.